And that's how I escaped Alcatraz.
Alcatraz. That's cool.
Yeah. Sorry.
No follow-up to that?
Story. Yeah, no, sorry you didn't get to hear the story.
Oh, I bet it was good. Were you Sean Connery? Is he in the Alcatraz movie?
Yeah, The Rock, starring Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage. That would be hilarious.
The Rock should have been in The Rock. Wait, the Rock is from what? Is that the 90s or is that early 2000s?
90s.
90s. Okay, so
sure.
the Rock was still wrestling.
Yeah, he was.
He was just a pebble
out there being the people's champion.
Yeah, he was
laying out rock bottoms.
Yeah.
My face is so washed out, and it's just natural lighting. Come on, dude. Come on.
I had to like bump my lights up. I was like very dark in the corner and being really moody, which fits the movie we're doing tonight.
Yeah, so it's two things. I have a big white wall next to me, and I have a big white forehead.
Yeah, so... same.
And I'm bald now, so it's just extra reflection.
Oh, the problem right now I'm running to is I have my key lights pointing both at me, and they're reflecting off my glasses, so I look like an anime protagonist right now. Which I mean isn't the worst thing ever. I'll take it.
Right here, so like the natural lighting's good till it ain't.
Yeah. Yeah, really. I have my window open. Luckily, by the time we're now in that weird part of the summer where it's just light until like midnight, almost it feels like. But then it's like still light at like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Reverse that. Give me more darkness.
It's a weird place out there right now.
It really is. Like, Grumble, welcome to the greatest movie podcast of all time. Wow, I'm feeling cocky tonight.
You're really laying it on thick.
Welcome, everyone, to the greatest podcast of all time. But no, really,
that's
welcome
what
in
my
all.
Dad says.
Yeah. Reviewed by Shane's dad and my mom. Oh, my mom would probably be mad about all the swears I say.
Yeah, I mean...
It happens. I wonder if there's anyone who has a podcast who, like, doesn't cringe at the thought of, like, their parents listening to it at times. Like, I'm cool for most of the time, but I say some pretty stupid things on here.
Yeah, I mean... I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, we should probably start the podcast.
I haven't really thought about it too much.
I haven't either. I listen to a lot of podcasts. It's like my general like media consumption right now because I'm driving a lot, and I'm just like, I wonder what their parents think if they ever listen to this.
It's just that I know my dad doesn't listen to this podcast.
Right.
So it's just like, I don't really think about it that often.
Exactly. Oh my god. All right, I have to turn a fan on, and for some reason it is really hot in here.
Summertime.
Not for some reason, it's summer. But yeah, 1 second, everyone.
Oh man, I feel like there was something I wanted to say to him like immediately, but I forgot what it was. Because I had that Alcatraz thing lined up.
It's not on.
Damn.
This hasn't kicked on, okay.
We'll just turn off the Spotify while he's away before I forget. No, I'll just ad-lib it.
My room is like Schrodinger's temperature. Oh my god, I turned the fan on, the AC just turned on. My computer and me standing is literally like 3 feet underneath a vent. And if the vent's on, I freeze to death. But if the vent's turned off and the AC's off, I burn to death. But I just turned my fan on, so obviously that means my AC is gonna turn on, so now I'm gonna freeze to death. Welcome to the podcast. Oh my god. We need to start this, but I just got a tweet notification? Tweet? Twat? Not a twat. Not a twat.
Uh-oh.
It was Spider-Man. No, it wasn't. It was just like, hey, you might find this interesting, which usually I don't find anything Twitter tells me interesting.
Trailer? Spider-Man trailer?
Just pictures.
Oh, because the internet has just been like going off about like, give me those Spider-Man trailer.
they really have been. That's why I was like, did they of course they'll drop it right now. But no, it's just an image of an X, like a pirate map line, and then a house. Let's start the podcast. Hey everyone, and welcome back, or welcome for the first time to Ruining Movies, a live podcast on Twitch.
The best one ever.
The best one ever, as you heard up at the top of the show, in which your hosts, me, Zach, and that Shayne.
That's me.
Who's caveman speak. We talk about movie news. We discuss the movie of the week. This week we are talking about Robert Eggers' The Witch. I wish I could say that in like old English. We're speaking of thy moving image, thy witch.
Thou art talketh about thine witches.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. We're talking about the 2015 movie The Witch, by Robert Eggers. Great movie. We'll talk about that towards the end of the show. And then we'll ruin it. So that's the whole gimmick here. The audience ruins it. That's the whole gimmick here. You guys come in, you vote on if we're making a prequel, sequel, or remake, and then in the genre of your guys' choices, and then we have to remake that movie. Last week, we remade the Italian horror masterpiece Suspiria into a Lifetime movie called Surprise! It's pretty good. But before we get into ruining The Witch, let's talk about what we've been watching. And chat, if you guys have been watching anything nice, important, cool, fun you want to talk about, throw it up in chat and we'll discuss it. Shayne, have you been watching anything lately over this last week that we're not going to talk about later?
Yeah, a British game show.
Oh, you were telling me about this, yeah.
It's so good. I recommend it. It is, I'm going to put in quotes game show, because I don't even know if they call it that, but it is points-based and there are rewards.
Okay.
And it's called Taskmaster, and it's like these 5 comedians take on tasks. So I've been watching like clips upon clips upon clips. But then today I finally watched the first episode of season 1, and it's pretty funny. The task is eat this watermelon as fast as you can.
What?
Or eat as much as this watermelon as you can, and they have a minute. So these 5 people go in and like they all just have a whole watermelon in front of them, unlike cut or anything.
And they just have to eat it?
And they have a minute. So one of them's like, "Can I have a knife?" And the guy's like, "Yeah." And he gives him a knife, and he goes in with a knife and fucking cuts it in half and like starts eating some watermelon. And these 2 other dudes go in and they just fucking smash the shit out of this watermelon. And ate a bunch of it. It was hilarious.
I gotta say, have you ever seen the Great British Bake Off?
No, but I've heard so much.
They just have better reality TV over there for some reason. I don't know if there's nothing to do on that island or it's just dreary all the time, but like I can honestly say I enjoy their talk shows, their reality shows like Big Brother and stuff, like way more than anything we produce.
Yeah, it was great. It's been a real riot. I would recommend it to anyone. I'm pretty sure every episode is on YouTube, on their YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's yeah. Also, that like they're usually on the BBC. It's like pretty accessible to everyone.
True.
To be able to watch it. Whatever says I love the Great British Bake Off. I do too. If you guys want some wholesome, pretty humorous television, that's like okay. There's like a difference between American cooking shows and British cooking shows where like it's the Gordon Ramsay difference. Like you watch him on any British TV show and he's like really wholesome and like really like confident and he's just like really nice to the people doing it and like really wants them to do the best. And then he's on American TV and he's just screaming at them, like giving them like death threats. That's kind of like the Great British Bake Off. It's so nice and wholesome and cheery and just a good show to watch. But if they made an American version, which I think they did, I feel like it would be a lot of yelling.
Gordon Ramsay that makes scrambled eggs. That's the Gordon Ramsay I want to be around.
Exactly. I know exactly that clip you're talking about. I don't want Hell Kitchen Gordon Ramsay. That Gordon Ramsay scares me.
No. Have you ever seen his like food reviews of like Instagram or people tweet him?
Yes, I have.
Food? Oh, he's hilarious. That guy. I don't know how we got here.
I like it. We were talking about British shows. Gordon Ramsay's British.
Yes.
Yeah.
that's like the main notable thing. I mean, other than the stuff that we talked about.
What are you, an idiot sandwich? Yeah, that, I mean, he does. I will have to give Gordon Ramsay. He does have some pretty good one-liners. Like, he's good at talking smack. Awesome. So, is that it? You only been watching that? I haven't been watching anything. I don't know why I said that so like pointedly.
No,
Is that the only thing you've been watching? I haven't been watching anything either.
I was saying before the podcast, most of my time's been on Minecraft this last week.
Yeah, same. I've just it's been Minecraft and Lucifer for me. I'm in the final season.
Nice, cruising.
Talk about a British person who could say mean things to me and I'd be okay with it. I don't even know if that actually is the actor for Lucifer British. I feel like he does a good British accent. Let's see. I'm just kind of surprised if he isn't. Well, Tom Ellis. Oh, that doesn't sound like a British name. Oh, he's from Wales. Okay. I'm sorry if you're Welsh. I know they're different places. It's good. I recommend Lucifer. It's fun.
Yeah, you've been grinding it out for the last couple weeks.
Yeah, yeah. You can tell the difference when it was like a CW show for the first 2 seasons. Now it's a Netflix show the last 2 seasons, and like the quality's actually gotten a bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I've been listening to podcasts on Minecraft. Like, there's not, and The Witch and Loki, but we'll talk about both of those in a bit. So yeah, let's move on to some movie news. So we got nothing like incredibly jarring. Nothing that's came out that's like, like this is amazing news. Oh, I'm so excited. But like we got some pretty like cool low-key things. Loki things coming out that like they're far off, but they do seem pretty interesting. And I want to start off with a thing that I saw this week that kind of I shared to like a lot of people I know because it's just such a weird concept, but I think will turn out really cool. And that's the Lord of the Rings anime prequel coming out.
I saw that you mentioned that, but I didn't check it out. I should have clicked it.
Yeah, so we don't have any trailers or anything like exciting in that sense. But we do have some information on it. So first of all, New Line Cinema, which is Peter Jackson's the studio that Peter Jackson used to make The Lord of the Rings, is producing it, so we already have a return to like Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. But it's going to be an anime, which is I think the most interesting concept there. It's the Lord of the Rings anime. Like I will be the first to admit I haven't not watched that much anime in my day. I'm Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z is like the most anime I've watched. I mean, Studio Ghibli, however you say that. I also watched all those films. But like, in a world that really loves anime, like anime is huge right now, and it deservingly so. Like, it's probably like out of all of our friends, like it's probably the media talked about the most. I don't know if we just have a lot of friends that love anime. I agree with that. But like, I feel like you can go really anywhere, and anime is really big right now. So combining like the Western powerhouse of Lord of the Rings with like Eastern anime is going to be very interesting. Especially, we found out the story is going to be about the Rohirrim, you know, the writer's Rohan. It's going to be about their legendary king and like the start of Helm's Deep.
Nice. That sounds amazing.
Right, so the story sounds awesome, sounds sweet. Anime, I mean, if anime has a good budget, because I mean, I've seen clips of anime that doesn't have a good budget and looks kind of bad, but I mean, I feel like if you're doing Lord of the Rings, you're gonna have a good budget behind it because people want to throw money at that franchise. True. It could turn out really cool. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's kind of exciting.
Yeah. So there's honestly not much to say about it, but yeah, it's like. I want to see a trailer. I want to know what kind of... Because my dumb brain is just, like, picturing, like, Super Saiyans fighting. And I'm like, how's that going to work for Lord of the Rings? Or, like, a Sailor Moon... Sailor Moon, like, transformation, but it's Legolas spinning around. Give me my magic girl trope Legolas movie.
It's funny, one of these...
Yeah.
One of these paragraphs on this article on The Wrap says, it starts with, it's as notable as Amazon in the works on its own, parentheses, very expensive.
I did see that.
Ring series. You're damn right it is.
Yeah, what we talked about, it was like 300 million or 300 bajillion dollars.
Oh yeah. They could build a space station, but instead...
Well, Jeff Bezos is going to space now.
Yeah, alone.
No, he's going with his brother.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know why. I don't know why I know that information. It's just, but like Jeff Bezos retires, is going to space. It's like, cool, go, bye, see ya.
Have a nice time in space.
Yeah, you dick.
How's that a thing?
I don't know. We live in a weird time. I mean, we do live in a weird time. We're talking about Lord of the Rings anime right now. So yeah. What's up?
I was just gonna speak on the weird time thing.
Yeah.
And we're gonna jump 8 spots down the list. To the last thing that I put in there.
The Loki things?
No, not all the way down. Just on the movies list. There's like so many video game movies coming out, or that are being planned or talked about in the upcoming like years, and it just makes me think about like the MCU and comic book adaptations and all these things. It's like, instead of doing, you know, a live action remake of something old that people liked, we'll just start doing these things for this like other generation of people.
Yeah.
That are into video games, like a live action remake of Gears of War, a live action remake of Borderlands, a live action remake of Uncharted, like all these.
We're getting a new Resident Evil television show that I just saw today.
Just so many things, and it appeals to like a totally different audience.
It really does. I was just thinking of the Lord of the Rings animated film. Did you ever see that from like the 70s?
No.
I think it was the one that
watching The Hobbit or something.
Oh, it was The Hobbit. What I'm thinking about is the Soviet Union did a Lord of the Rings animated film that was also whack.
Nice.
Yeah, so Lord of the Rings anime prequel. We have so many. It's E3 this week, everyone, so we are going to talk about a lot of video game movies and video games. There's a combination of both.
That's a good place to go now, because like the main reason I jumped to mine was just because like you mentioned the Strange Times, and I was thinking about that earlier, how like the influence on media changes like per generation kind of.
Absolutely.
And they have to like change with the times, I guess. And now it's just like there's this enormous boom.
Yes.
It's like the technology caught up with what they wanted to do, and also like enough time passed between the initial releases of these games and like the nostalgia period or whatever.
I think that's mostly it. It's the nostalgia. Like, it's we've talked about this a bit before. I think it is the whole MCU thing. Is the MCU came off, and now everyone wants to make a cinematic universe. And what's the easiest way to make a cinematic universe is take the games that already have a universe and just translate them to film. It's easy.
Yeah.
Which isn't the worst thing. We might get some cool movies out of it. We might get another Mortal Kombat that sucks.
Right. I mean, there's like 4 more of those on the docket.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I mean, there's like 5 Gears of War video games that all circle around just Marcus Phoenix, and we already know that Dave Bautista's like interested in something like that, and like he might have his toes in the water.
Yeah, he's not too busy making fucking Army of the Dead 3, 4, 5, 7, 10. Oh, well, he's dead. He'll bring him back somehow.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just
I mean,
we'll see.
I agree with you. Let's talk about something that could be good or bad and stay in the same realm of video game movies, but instead do video games. So like I said, E3 is this week, so we got a bunch of game trailers. Let's talk about the three video games. I keep mixing those up that we got this week, and that is the Evil Dead game, the Sea of Thieves crossover with Pirates of the Caribbean, and then the Avatar game. So, I did not expect either of these. None of these, I should say. Because I baked into my brain is the movie video games of the 2000s, which sucked. Like, they have always been, in my mind, like that cash grab. It's just like, we have this cool property. Let's make it a shitty game and then throw it out so when kids see it at Blockbuster, they can pick it up, and it's really bad. It has like a slide level, and it's like a platformer, and they're all the same.
Yes.
But I do gotta say, the Evil Dead game looks sweet.
I'm really fucking hyped for that, dude. It
Same.
looks so cool.
So, for those who don't know, the Evil Dead game, it looks like it's like a combination of Left 4 Dead mixed with Dead by Daylight, but you play as the characters of the Evil Dead franchise, and it's narrated by Ash Williams, which is Bruce Campbell.
It looks really cool. I'm interested. It's interesting that they put Ash as a survivor in Dead by Daylight, and now they're doing this kind of thing.
Yeah,
but I mean,
you're not
it's
wrong.
very. It seems kind of different. I mean, it might play
it does.
kind of like. It looks like it might play kind of like that.
Left 4 Dead.
Well, no, it's like the Hunt.
Oh yeah. Kind of like there's yep.
Yeah, there's like random bad guys around, and you can get out alive. And there's also like a big bad that can be controlled by people.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Friday the 13th game that came out a couple years ago.
Which is exactly like Dead by Daylight. But
which is, yeah, which is so unfortunate. Like, the Friday the 13th game was kind of fun.
They should have just given...
They had weird licenses, yeah.
Yeah, they should have just given the licenses to Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, that's true. I would love to see Jason in that.
Yeah, but either way, I'm very excited for that game. I think that looks good, but yeah. I don't want to get my hopes too high, you know. It's like
right.
I mean, I remember the days of Aladdin getting stuck on the fire pits.
T video game, the Lion King video game. My God, the Lion King video game of the 90s.
I have the Lion King on Genesis.
Yeah, I did too. And oh God, man. those games were rough.
See, I always was on Aladdin, and I could never get past like the 3rd level.
Those games were hard. They were so hard. Yeah. So yeah, we have Evil Dead, and then next one that was like the big surprise at E3 that I still can't believe is happening. It is literally coming out in a week. I think a week. It's coming out the 22nd of It's coming out literally a week in 7 days. It is
7 days from today.
Yep. The Sea of Thieves Pirates of the Caribbean crossover, a game that Shane and I have played many times on stream, and a game that we both love. That we always end up singing Pirates of the Caribbean music while playing. And now we're getting like an actual crossover. And this crossover doesn't just seem like a small few cosmetics. It's like a huge expansion onto the game where like you have Jack Sparrow and Davy Jones and I think Carcosa. And
there was a bunch of people. There was I saw the guy with the parrot on his shoulder whose name I can't remember, and then the man with the facial hair.
Yep, I know what you're talking about. I don't know their names, but yeah. I mean, I'm excited for it. Like, as much as I always yell at Disney, like, this is kind of cool. This is a crossover I'm cool with.
Yeah, I'm pretty hyped for that. And I mean, it feels like Disney, in a way, is just kind of like, here's this really cool thing. You can just have this for a little bit.
Yeah,
you know, like, have some fun with it if you want it, and, you know, obviously we'll take whatever money they give us, but, like, it feels like it was done in a good way with a good game.
Yeah.
So, that's cool.
And I might get some flack for saying this, but I think all these crossovers we've been getting lately with all these different media franchises and video games is 100% because of Fortnite. I don't think without the Marvel crossover from Fortnite, other studios would see how profitable it can be to put your things in games. And now we're getting this. Like, I just can't think of any another game franchise, right? That like had that much crossover.
Fortnite really started it all, yeah.
Yeah. Because like Call of Duty has Rambo in it.
Roping it in. Yeah, Call of Duty has Rambo and Bruce Willis. And
right.
Like, Mortal Kombat has had some things for a while.
That's true. I'm not going to take that away from Mortal Kombat. They've had Alien and Rambo.
And I think they had DLC characters that were like movie people prior to that. But to like this scale, it's like Fortnite has that all the way, and like they've obviously made fucking oodles off of it.
They really Fortnite is the MCU of video games.
So like, and this actually is kind of a testament to that, because Disney has their hands way into Fortnite.
Exactly.
Way in there. And so like for them to just kind of like make a Sea of Thieves thing, it's, you know, I mean, for the amount of money that they're getting from Fortnite, it's like they already know that this is going to be insanely profitable. I guarantee you see Disney stuff is going to be in games like this.
Yeah. I mean,
anywhere that you see. I mean, I think that's kind of like probably going to be the way of the future for video games for a long time. Like when Destiny 2 came out, they had a 10-year plan. And I think like game companies are thinking more that way in terms of like longevity, at least with like multiplayer games.
I mean, I think the same things we talk about in the film industry all the time about how like major studios like are just gonna never die, which can be good or bad depending how you like these franchises. I think it's hand in hand with the game industry. Same with our kind of thing with like big studios becoming bigger and bigger and indie studios getting pushed aside. I do think gaming does support its indie scene a little bit better than the film industry, but like I think they're very comparable, especially now. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Disney's going to put their hands on everything, because why wouldn't they? But right. I mean, if we get a Pirates of the Caribbean and Sea of Thieves crossover, I'll excuse them this time.
See, but like I think things like, I guess what I was trying to say, but I didn't say it well. But I also said what other things I wanted to say is, I see things like this happening more frequently with Disney, because for them it's like you could go through the process of making your own Pirates of the Caribbean game and try to, you know, reignite the flame or whatever, or
that is a good point. Yeah,
build a shorter story. And or really, it's just like give this to this company for a little bit, have them write a story. I don't know who. Right, I don't know who wrote the story, but I'm certain that, you know, Rare did a lot of the development and like the character design and stuff like that. I'm sure Disney had their hands in on the writing and stuff and all of that.
Yeah, Disney probably. I from what I know about Disney probably came in with a huge pitch bible. They're like, these are the rules. You cannot break them. Jack Sparrow can't swear. Jack Sparrow can't do blah 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 blah.
Right.
And then pretty much you're right. Like Disney doesn't really have to do too much here.
Yeah, and why would Rare say no?
Exactly. It's just like, why would anyone say no to Disney at this point?
Right. If Disney came to me and they were like, we want to do a crossover on ruining movies, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, as much as exactly. We talk a lot of shit about them, but like still, like,
you want to come defend yourselves on our podcast? All right.
If the mouse came and was like, hey, we're gonna do a crossover, I'd be like, all right, well, whatever, sure, yeah, cool. I'll bow down to the mouse, I guess. You gotta sometimes get paid to make the things that people won't pay you for. So that's my pitch to selling out if you sell out. All right, well, staying in the Disney realm of video games, we have the Avatar game.
Yeah,
which is a big shrug from me.
I don't particularly care at all. I watched the trailer. Is that all there was? Was there a gameplay?
Yep, that was it.
Or anything? Okay.
I
really don't care. I feel like I watched like a small Avatar animation.
Yeah,
That's it. It gave me nothing in terms of substance. So we're on Pandora with birds and blue. But so here's the thing. I've never seen this movie.
I'm gonna go against a lot of people. I guess not. There's a very vocal crowd against Avatar. It looked good. It looked good. The story was not great. But we're about to get 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, wasn't the story like Dances with Wolves or something?
It's like Dances with Wolves meets Pocahontas.
Oh, am I thinking of the right thing?
No, I think you are.
Okay, I heard that it was just like Dances with Wolves, which makes me wonder, like, what are the next movies gonna be?
I mean, okay, they've already filmed and written 2, 3, 4, 5. The thing
Film
is,
them?
I think they filmed most of them.
Okay,
this is gonna go into the next topic we're talking about too, which is we got images for Avatar 2. Okay. This is a sincere question, not me being a dick, and this is to anyone who wants to answer me, like, in the comments later or is in my chat right now. Who still cares about this movie?
Crickets. Yeah, I don't know shit about Avatar. I've never seen it.
So it's just the craziest thing. Like, we're getting this, like, huge video game from it. Disney is building, like, a huge park about, like, a huge Avatar park at their, like, like, I don't know which one of their campuses. Like, Disney signed, I think Disney is the one who owns Avatar. I don't know. Disney owns so much they could. James Cameron found someone to sign him on for 2, 3, 4, 5. Immediately after Avatar 1. And that movie came out in 2009.
I remember everyone being like, the CGI in this movie is revolutionary. Was it?
It was good. It was good looking. I will not take that away from that movie. I remember seeing it on IMAX screen, and it looked really good. But I can tell you one thing. I don't know anything about the story. I never watched it again after that. Like, it's like... I was gonna say it's like Finding Nemo, but I actually like Finding Nemo's story.
Finding Nemo's a touching tale.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a bad comparison because I think Finding Nemo's good. Yeah. It's like, yeah, it's visually stunning, but like, its story was just so bland. But like, I've fallen into this weird Avatar like fighting that's been going on the internet. This like, I guess for the last 11 years, 12 years since the first came out. There's a very active community that talks about how Avatar was this cultural touchstone and like changed everything. I'm not gonna take that away from it. It was a big movie at the time. It was a big event. Every James Cameron movie is a big event. Dude just makes so much money whenever he makes a film. For whoever he's producing for. And then there's people who are like, the movie sucks and just why are we talking about it? I'm kind of like in the middle. Oh, I'm more on that side. But like, just why are we getting so many of them?
Maybe I should watch it before I talk a bunch of shit. I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
I just don't get the hype, you know? I just don't get it.
I after seeing it, I don't either. Like, it has okay world building. Look anywhere that isn't blockbuster movies and you'll find better world building. But like, I guess it was good world building for a blockbuster film. I don't know. It wasn't for me. And I mean, I'm looking at IMDb right now, and the top review is one of the best cinematic experiences ever. I think it's overhyped.
Cinematic experiences. You can never get that again. Like, you know a cinema that showed that shit again? Did I have another opportunity to see this as a cinematic experience and I missed it?
Okay, you know when 2, 3, 4, 5 is gonna come out, they're gonna play it back in IMAX. It's gonna be like, Avatar's back in theaters. I'm surprised they haven't been doing that every 3 years.
I guess I'll watch it then, maybe? Like, I don't know.
Okay, so I'm just looking at these IMDb forums, which is never go to the IMDb forums. They're the worst. They're a hole of scum and villainy. So we have one from 2009, December 14th, that says best movie experience of the last 30 years. And then underneath it, that was a 10 out of 10 by that person. Underneath it, a 6 out of 10 that says, how could anyone who's seen more than 4 movies in their life find this creative? And I gotta say, I'm agreeing with that guy. Like,
oh man.
And I think, okay, these comments. I think this comment actually somehow summons the words I would use for it. Visually stunning, but ultimately unimaginative. I'm more of a story person. Like, I like things that look good, obviously, but I'm more of a concept story person. I need a strong story, something interesting going on to like actually like really like a film to want to watch it over and over again. And Avatar just didn't do it for me. I don't know any film franchise that has ever got on 2, 3, 4, 5 after one movie.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
And also, it has taken 12 years for the sequel to come out, and they're still going ahead with 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, and it probably was very expensive to make.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a James Cameron film. I'm surprised he didn't find Pandora in real life and like build a space shuttle to go there to film it. I will give James Cameron that. I'm not throwing shade at him because I think he does a lot of interesting things as a filmmaker. I mean, if I could pitch movie ideas just to go visit the bottom of the ocean like he has done in the past, like he just loves the ocean, so he's like, here, I'll make Titanic, and then he just like funded a submarine expedition for himself. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Terminator rules.
True.
And so does awesome. Aliens. Like both great films. I'm not a big fan of Titanic, but like
you didn't like Titanic?
I do not like Titanic. I don't know if I've just seen it too much or just...
I mean, I've seen it many times. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't want to watch it right now, but, like, I do think it's a pretty good movie.
I don't know. It just doesn't...
I don't like watching movies like that.
That's fair.
That make me feel things.
That one just makes me mad. Why did she throw the goddamn fucking jewel in the ocean at the end?
Why didn't Jack get on the fucking debris?
Yeah, there's so many things that just make me mad in that movie now that I think about it.
There's a lot of things that make me mad about it, but like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So I'm actually I'm looking at this Avatar thing now because I'm on James Cameron's IMDb. So 2022, we have Avatar 2. It is in post-production right now, so that means it is filmed and is being edited and doing CGI and stuff. That's what post-production means, for anyone who didn't know. 2024, Avatar 3, already filmed, in post-production. Avatar 4, 2026, currently filming. Avatar 2028. Avatar 5, 2028, filming.
Goodness.
I just don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Yeah, that's insane.
For a movie that came out in 2009.
9 years down the road, and they're not releasing the first one until 2022. That's 6 more months minimum if they release like on January 1.
And what if it bombs? Like,
right? What if it tanks?
I think that's the thing that baffles me so much is I've never seen a studio take this much of a risk.
Right.
Like, what? Like, Avatar 2 comes back, and it's just not the phenomenon anymore. Phenomena.
What if it is Attack of the Clones?
Yeah, what if it's the prequels?
You know, it is the second movie, so, I mean, out of 5, it's going to be, like, probably more world building and stuff. It could be kind of boring.
You're right. I mean, that's kind of a weird problem you have when you have that many movies in order, is like, you kind of get the syndrome where like, I prefer when movies can stand alone. But like, if you have Avatar 2 going to 3, like, is that movie going to really stand alone, or is it just going to lead into 3, and I'll have to watch 3 to get the full storyline of 2, and then I won't be able to get the full storyline of 3 until I see 4, and then I still don't have the full storyline from 2 and 4, so I'll have to see 5.
Yep, that's a thing. And I find myself thinking about 2 movies in particular right now that I think will fall into a similar category for me. Avengers 2 Age of Ultron, and I'm gonna get a lot of fucking shade for this one. Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers.
Oh yeah, you are. I'm not defending you on that one. I'll defend you on the Ultron one.
So I'll just go out and say immediately, like, these are 2 movies that I particularly enjoy, but I'm a fanboy. But I do think that they're the most lackluster in the franchises. Like,
okay, I agree with that. I won't take that away from you. I agree with that.
Like, I liked The Fellowship a lot, and I liked Return of the King a lot, but I liked The Two Towers, you know?
Yeah, and you're right where you're getting at. It's like, it is It's the middle ground. It's the path you have to take to get to the Return of the King.
Yep, and Age of Ultron's purpose, like as a movie, was to introduce us to a bunch of new characters.
Same, and I mean that's kind of what we got with WandaVision, too, and a little bit of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
So I feel like that's somehow where this and maybe, like, I don't know what they're trying to do for the span of 5 movies, right? Is like is it going to be like Lord of the Rings, where the beginning's the strongest and the end is the strongest, and then you have 3 movies in the middle that all have, like, you know,
right?
They're just like building on these things. They're adding new characters and world building and stuff like that.
Yeah, Grumble said Ultron was a fun villain. Honestly, yeah, I think he was, and I think he was underutilized. I hope he comes back.
No, I agree. Like I said, I like the movie. It's just like it has a purpose in the grand scheme of the 10-year plan that was the MCU or whatever.
Exactly. I can't wait for the discourse or the conversations at 2030. Oh God, I'll be so old by then. That's another thing. I'll be so old.
Am I even gonna care who James Cameron is?
I'm gonna be in my mid-30s when Avatar 5 comes out.
Some of the like I don't know. I don't want to get too morbid about it, but like, how old is James Cameron? Like,
is that why he wrote it? How old is James Cameron?
Like, is there a chance that he doesn't get to see the release of the final film or something? He was born in 1954, so he's 66.
Yeah. I mean, he'll be 75.
You know, it's just like, talk about the studio taking a risk. Like, this guy might not even get to see his last movie.
Might not even get to make it, like, okay, so I guess we have to say this, like, this better be James Cameron's, like, dream project. He's probably not making more films after this.
Right, it must be, you know, like I don't know.
I know he, like, really cares about the oceans and stuff. So, I mean, Avatar did have this very, like, environment and climate, like, feel to it, which was good and stuff. It baffles me. Because I don't know anyone who's still talking about Avatar.
Right. I feel like you're onto something. Like, it must be some kind of passion project.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I don't dislike James Cameron as a director. I think he's one of the more solid directors in the game right now.
Yeah. He knows what's up.
He really does. And he, like... Oh, actually, he is making another film. Okay.
Somewhere in there, he's gonna make time to make.
Oh shit! Do you know what James Cameron's first big film was? Before Terminator? Piranha 2.
Oh.
The Spawning. I didn't know that. It came out 3 years before Terminator, so he wrote that, and somehow they still let him make Terminator, which good for him. Terminator rules.
Way to be.
All right.
Way to create some franchises.
Yeah. Let's move on. Okay. The next thing. New Avatar. There was a new Avatar image released for Ocean Day. We kind of talked about that. I'll post it. It's just underwater. The Avatar underwater. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I think I saw that.
Yeah. Let's move on to another franchise that we've been talking about on this podcast the last couple of weeks. And I think I might have to say I was bamboozled last week when I said Daniel Radcliffe or Elijah Woods was supposed to be the new villain in Toxic Avenger. I guess that report has now been kicked out, and that's not a true thing. Elijah Woods might still be connected to it, but we have now confirmed the actual villain for Toxic Avenger, and it is Kevin Bacon.
Ooh, I saw that.
Yeah. And I think that's great. So, for those who don't know, we've talked about Toxic Avenger and Trauma a little bit the last couple weeks. Like, the big bad guys in Trauma were, like, your typical, like, 80s, like, corporate villains. You know, like, I think those ski movies, like, they're buying the ski lodge, and then it's, like, some, like, guy in a suit with, like, slicked back hair, and, like, that's the villain. And that's, like, that was the villain of, like, a Toxic Avenger. And, like, who's a better person to play that than Kevin Bacon?
Yeah, he's a scary guy.
He is.
He's made some movies where gives me quite the fright.
I mean, yeah. So, yeah. I mean, he was a villain in X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
What else was he?
Oh, one of my favorite death scenes in an X-Men movie ever.
Yeah.
He received a coin to the forehead in slow motion.
Yep.
Oh, so excellent.
Depending on whose point of view you're looking at, he was the villain in Footloose, bringing that damn dancing to that town.
He was in Friday the 13th.
Oh yeah, he was. I forgot that was like one of... Yeah. He's been in a lot of things.
Yeah, there's a reason for that game.
Yeah. But yeah, I think so. Right now we have Peter Dinklage playing the Toxic Avenger, playing our hero, and then the villain Kevin Bacon. And I honestly think that's too awesome. That's a great cast for this. Those are two good people to have in the Toxic Avenger reboot.
Tremors. Scary.
Yeah, Tremors is scary. I'll give you that. I don't want to get eaten by a weird sandworm. Yeah, so cool. Kevin Bacon.
Goodness.
Right on.
Man,
He's almost been who's been in more films, Kevin Bacon or Nicolas Cage? I don't want to do the math. Oh wait, 98. Okay, so Kevin Bacon is at 98. Nicolas Cage
for a long time.
Nicolas Cage is at
I
107.
Whoa.
So Nicolas Cage just wins by a bit.
Man, how come there's no Nicolas Cage 7?
Oh, whoa, you mean like the Kevin Bacon 7, like everyone's connected 7 ways?
Yeah.
Because I think Nicolas Cage is like hangs out with the strangest people.
Yeah, you're probably right. What is this? Oh shit, this is neat. Okay. 2018, a TV movie by the name of Tremors came out.
Yeah.
And
he was in
Valentine again. Yeah. I didn't know there was a reboot.
That same year he made Duck, a film by Kevin Bacon, and directed it. What the hell's that?
Wait, this has like the whole cast. What is this? How did I not know this was a thing?
A television reboot of the film Tremors.
Wow.
Was it just a reboot with the same cast?
Basically, almost.
Whoa. Yeah, wait, actually.
Fred Ward played Bert. He wasn't in the original, though, I don't think.
No, but I mean, you got Kevin Bacon. That's all you really need.
No, he played Earl. He was Earl. Fred Ward was Earl. Oh my gosh. This is unbelievable.
It got a 7.8 out of 10 on IMDb ratings, which is kind of high for IMDb.
Where's Bert?
Oh wait,
no Bert
wait, this might have not actually happened. Let's see.
It says rumored next to the name. Is this not real?
Kevin Bacon announced through his Instagram account on April 27, 2018, that the show would not be moving forward.
What? Kevin!
I don't think it's his fault.
Kevin, my boy! My baby boy!
Oh, it's the same writer as for the writer of Cube. I don't know if you've seen that horror film.
No.
It's the same director as Cube.
Wait, he's got a movie in post-production called One Way, and his name is Asshole.
Nice. This is a weird rabbit hole we're going. I guess every time you talk about Kevin Bacon, you go down weird rabbit holes.
Yeah, we have to. Let's just move on.
Yeah, let's move on. So yeah, Kevin Bacon's the villain of the Toxic Avenger. Now, whatever I said last time. Let's go to this. We have two more things to talk about in movie news. Let's move on to the Edgar Allan Poe one.
Yeah.
Which I want to read this title of this article because it is a crazy title. It took me many times to decipher what the hell it actually meant. Why can't I click on it? Please.
I'm actually really excited for this.
I am too, but this is the title. It's Queen's Gambit alum Harry Melling to play Edgar Allan Poe opposite Christian Bale in Scott Cooper's The Pale Blue Eye. That's a long title. And I was like,
with
what?
A lot of like words
and names.
Like, and some of them even rhyme.
Yeah.
Pale and Bale?
Yeah, and I think I will have to say this article starts off by saying Harry Melling, best known for Dudley from the Harry Potter franchise. I think that doesn't do him justice.
No.
He was so good in The Queen's Gambit.
If you want to know the truth, when I opened this today,
Yeah.
I was reading through our talking points, and I didn't know who Harry Melling was by name. And then I clicked on him, and I knew instantaneously who he was.
Yeah.
And I learned today that he was in Harry Potter.
Same. Actually.
So, like, I knew him immediately when I saw him from The Devil All the Time.
Which he played a great role in.
Amazing. I was gonna say he's probably one of my favorite, like, quote unquote villains, right? He was, like, kind of like a villainous person, but not really the bad guy.
Yeah. I mean, So The Devil All the Time, he plays Roy, and he's fantastic in it. Great acting in it.
I also didn't know that he was in The Queen's Gambit, which you recommended a bunch of times.
And he's one of my favorite characters in that. He plays a person who plays chess. I mean, they all play chess in that series, but he's really good in it. And I was like Dudley. I don't even remember Dudley appearing in Harry Potter that much.
And he was also in one of my favorite Netflix original movies, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Yeah, and I haven't seen that, but I've heard that like his segment is like one of the best.
It's interesting. It's all interesting. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I was excited when I saw that. I think he'll do well.
Yeah, I think the story is really interesting too. So Harry Melling is going to be playing Edgar Allan Poe. It is not an actual like account of Edgar Allan Poe. It is a fictionalized version of him. It is going to be a film about West Point, which Edgar Allan Poe did go to West Point, for those who don't know. But it is going to have Christian Bale playing this like detective trying to figure out a murder at West Point, in which he runs into Edgar Allan Poe, and they have to solve the murder mystery together. And I mean, I love murder mysteries.
Same.
And I love Edgar Allan Poe.
And I really like Harry Melling.
And Christian Bale. So
yeah, like, Christian Bale's cool too.
Yeah, so I mean, cool. I mean, I was really excited. I am glad he is kind of blowing up right now. Not Christian Bale. Christian Bale's always been blowing up, but Harry Melling.
Looks like he will next be seen opposite Denzel Washington and Frances McDormand in Joel Coen's The Tragedy of Macbeth, which will be released by A24 and Apple later.
Which I already can tell you, it's released by A24. It's probably going to be good.
Yeah.
It's probably going to have a lot of artistic creativity to it. Yeah, I mean,
that's awesome.
Cool. He was also in The Old Guard, which I think you saw. I don't know if you saw him.
Yeah, I did see it, and I did recognize that, but there was a couple specific ones that I wanted to point out. But yeah, he was in The Old Guard. I remember him in that. He was nice. He did well. Like I said, everything that I've seen him in, he's always performed well, and I was honestly kind of surprised to see that he was in Harry Potter. I did not know
I was
that.
too. And then I watched some clips because I forgot what Dudley looked like in Harry Potter. I've not watched any Harry Potter film in a very long time. The last Harry Potter came out after Avatar. 2 of them, actually.
I like that movie. I've seen that movie a bunch of times.
Yeah, I forgot what Dudley looked like, and he does not look like it anymore.
Seems like as he got older, maybe he started to look more like he does now, but like that in the first movie, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I had no idea. And of course, I mean, that was like years and years ago, but now I'm, like you said, I'm glad that he's blowing up. He's been in two of my like top Netflix originals, The Devil All the Time and The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Yeah.
Both cool movies.
Hell yeah. All right, so we got that, and then the last movie news I want to talk about is the Fear Street trailer that we got. For those who don't know, we talked about Fear Street last week, I believe. It is this R.L. Stine movie event coming to Netflix next month, in which we're getting 3 movies starting in, like, the first movie is supposed to be in, like, the 1990s, and the second movie is supposed to be in the 1980s, and the last movie is supposed to be in the 1600s, and it tells the tale of a slasher. It's based on the Fear Street series by R.L. Stine. I watched the trailer, and I am still pretty excited about this.
Nice. I didn't watch the trailer.
Yeah, so I think it's still, like, watching it through, it is, like, really interesting that they're starting at the end of the story, like the 1990s, and going back in time. That's cool. I talked a lot about this last week about like how this is a good use of streaming. Using these like crazy like 3 movies in a row, different times to tell a story. I think it's a really interesting concept. I like R.L. Stine. R-rated R.L. Stine sounds sweet. I recommend checking out the Fear Street trailer. And that's really all I have to say about it. It looks sweet. I'm excited. I'll definitely watch all 3 of them in a row, unless the first one sucks. I mean, I won't.
Was there a release date?
I know it's coming out soon. Let's see.
Cool.
Fear Street Part 1. Let's see. Release schedule. It's starting. The first one's July 2nd. The second one's July 9th, and the third one is July 16th.
Nice.
It goes from 1994 to 1978 to 1666. So cool. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, sounds exciting.
Yeah, let's move to television. So, for this first one, I posted. I literally just posted because of the fucking title. And I didn't read the whole article because I have to pay to read the whole article, so I only read the first paragraph. But the title of this is NBC Shit Show, Ultimate Slip and Slide. I didn't even know it was a television show. Production shutdown over explosive diarrhea outbreak. And I'm sorry, but I'm a child still. That is a very funny title and a very funny thing to happen. I feel sorry for you if you had explosive diarrhea due to this.
Yeah, holy shit.
But still, holy fuck, what a fucking funny thing to happen.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So,
rough.
first of all, I didn't know there was a slip and slide, an ultimate slip and slide TV show. What does that even mean, first of all?
I had no idea. It sounds like it wasn't out yet.
Yeah.
The upcoming TV competition. Yeah, it didn't make it very far.
No, and like, what is it even gonna be? And then the second of all, just explosive diarrhea for like everyone involved, and a slip and slide is just one of the worst images you can ever picture in your head. Like,
that is a shit show.
That is a literal shit show. There's nothing else to add to it except what the fuck.
That's too funny. Wow.
Yeah. Let's move on to the Cuphead show trailer.
Yeah, did you know, fun fact, before we talk about this, did you know that there was a Cuphead Fortnite crossover?
What? How? When?
I'm pretty sure. I'm looking it up right now.
Cuphead Fortnite.
I feel like it was King Dice.
Oh, it was like the bendy Cuphead thing, wasn't it? Like the tune Meowsicles. I don't know why. Why do I know so much about this?
No. Boss Fight Island? I don't know what I'm looking for. I swear I saw a Instagram post that had like Cuphead stuff.
Interesting.
Maybe not. I don't know. Call me out if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Put it in the comments.
Yeah,
Hit
yell
us
at
up
us.
on Discord. Tweet me.
Yelling at us still counts as engagement. Do it.
Yeah, I swear I saw that on Instagram.
We'll yell at you back.
Yeah.
So we don't, no parasocial relationships in this podcast. You yell at us, we yell at you. We don't apologize. Maybe we do. I don't know. If we say something stupid, we'll apologize, obviously, but
hell no.
Hell no. We're dying on every hill. So yeah, let's move on to the next. I don't have a segue. Let's go to the next anthill. But Cuphead show looks pretty good, and I love that the dice guy, which I think is the devil. I haven't played Cuphead in a bit. Is being played by Wayne Brady.
Nice.
We need more Wayne
awesome.
Brady.
Yeah, give me more Wayne Brady. He's hilarious.
That is a hill I will die on. Like, Wayne Brady rules.
Can confirm someone made like a full-on custom minigame game mode in Fortnite called King Dice.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if it was like an official one or if it was just like a creative mode or whatever, but that does exist.
Yeah, that's awesome. Is King Dice gonna have to choke? I don't think we're gonna get a Dave Chappelle show crossover with the Cuphead show, Grumble, unfortunately. But anyway, the animation looks really good. Nice. It has that really old-timey look to it, kind of like Willie and the Steamboat, that style, like Disney animation. Cool. Wayne Brady, like I said, is playing King Dice. He's the devil's right-hand man. And I mean, it's one of those video game television shows we kind of talked about E3.
Yeah.
And
stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, it looks cool. I'm excited for it.
I've heard a lot of good things about Cuphead, but I've never played the game because I tend to avoid frustration while gaming.
I did not beat it, but that game made me want to throw something at other things.
But with that in mind, because I've always really enjoyed like the aesthetic of it, I kind of am excited for the show because I do like Wayne Brady and I like that style of animation. And
absolutely. Moving on to the next video game television show, we're getting a Far Cry anime.
Oh man. So this is what I was saying. Like, this is why. Okay, just for reference, millions of listeners, we have a little doc that we edit and we pull from for things to talk about. And the one of the things that I added is just all caps. So many video game movies.
Yeah, really,
it's just everywhere. And it's not that I'm against it or anything. I'm just like, I had this epiphany today that was just like, damn, like it's like I said earlier, that it's like pushing towards this whole other market of people.
Absolutely. And it's okay, so it's going to be called Captain Laserhawk, a Blood Dragon remix.
Hell yeah, that sounds awesome.
So it's for those who don't know, Far Cry 3 had a DLC called a Blood Dragon, which was one of the coolest DLCs of all time.
It was so good.
I loved that DLC so much. I would play just a Blood Dragon game.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting an anime of it.
For that game were really good.
Yeah, wasn't there like a Vietnam one and like
a Vietnam one and like a zombie one and a Mars one, or maybe those were the later games. Yeah, I don't know. But all of the Far Cry expansion packs that have come out have been solid.
And this new one that's coming out, that's Far Cry 6, I think, or 7, I don't know what one they're on yet now. Like one of the DLCs is you get to play as all the villains from the past Far Cries.
That's
so that's kind of cool. Yeah, so Far Cry Blood Dragon anime.
That's so cool.
Sweet.
I didn't know it was going to be based off that.
Yeah. So that's sweet, and it kind of goes in line with the next thing we're going to talk about, because I feel like Far Cry Blood Dragon was making fun of those 80s cartoons that were just gimmicks to sell toys and stuff. He-Man, ho! We got a trailer for Kevin Smith's He-Man, and it looks pretty fucking sweet. It is Masters of the Universe Revelation. I gotta give it to Kevin Smith. Whatever you think of him, he does love his nerd culture from the 80s and 70s. And I mean, what is a bigger thing from that than He-Man?
Yeah,
Masters of the Universe. If you watch the trailer, like the animation looks super good.
Yeah, this looks sweet.
It looks badass. And for those who don't know, I'm not going to play the music in the trailer, but it's "I Need a Hero." That song.
I didn't hear you there.
So I'm not gonna sing it. But anyway, it looks good. Part 1. We're getting part 1. The Power of Grayskull. It's so weird to see a TV show that was just made to sell a children's toy look this cool.
This looks really awesome.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna watch it.
Everybody, like, I'm just kind of passively watching it as we talk, and it looks fucking sweet. I don't have the audio on or anything. Yeah, I'm just.
It really does. It looks like badass.
Good for you, Kevin Smith. Like you said, like I feel like when he takes on stuff like this, it's like something from his heart, you know? Like he does love these things.
Yeah, that is one thing to say about Kevin Smith, is everything he does, he puts a lot of heart into it. He has a lot of passion for the things he does. I mean, his films aren't for everyone. I still absolutely love Clerks and Mallrats and all that, and Dogma. Actually, I don't even remember if I like Dogma. I've seen it once, but it's so hard.
You can't find that anywhere.
You can't find it anywhere, so I don't even remember if I like it because I can't watch it again.
Maybe it doesn't exist. Maybe it was never real.
Maybe.
It's like that Shazam movie, or Kazam, or whatever. The one with Shaq.
Yeah.
But yeah, damn it, I forgot what I was gonna say. Moving on.
Yeah, so I mean that looks good. I mean, again, that was a cartoon made to sell toys. But
Kevin Smith, I loved Tusk.
Tusk, I never saw Tusk, but I did like Red State.
Red State was cool too.
I like Red State.
yeah.
I like Clerks. I mean, if you go to film school, you're gonna watch Clerks, and you'll be like, "Wow, I want to be a filmmaker." Which is what Clerks is. I mean, Clerks 2 was okay. I think they're making Clerks 3 eventually. Jay and Silent Bob, again, are not films for everyone. They can be really bad. Like, they're just dumb, really dumb.
A lot of Kevin Smith's films, like, I'd say all of his films are not for everybody.
They really are. They're very specific. So, I mean, I don't know. It looks cool. I'll watch it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the last thing in television we have to talk about is Loki, the new MCU show came out last Wednesday. Still a weird day. I will still think it's a weird day to put it out. I still feel weird that I'm going to be watching a new Loki tonight. Like, it feels weird because it's Tuesday. Well, it's going to be Wednesday. It just feels weird. But yeah, let's talk about it. What were your thoughts?
I'll start with I liked it a lot. And I'll say following that I don't know if there's ever been any MCU media that's like done more for the universe than this show.
Right, in like
and
the
it's
first
only
like
been
10
one
minutes.
episode. Yeah, within the first quarter of the show, like you've been introduced to quite possibly the most
multiverse.
powerful entity that has existed
Yep.
in all of the MCU that we've seen so far, and on top of that, the multiverse. They literally say multiverse and madness in the same sentence.
Yeah.
Which is cool. So it's kind of nice to see that they're giving a push kind of towards what seems to be coming.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really liked it, and I like where it's headed. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I mean, I also enjoyed it. I liked it. I think it's kind of nice. I mean, we still had, like, God, the MCU loves just throwing trauma into their shows.
Yeah.
Like, every one of their main characters has so much trauma. And, like, I'm not gonna say that's, like, a horrible thing, but, like, I really hope not every MCU show is, like, our main character's deep and they hate everything and are really sad. Because, like, you can do that, but, like...
I mean, some of them should be different, though. I mean, like, Hawkeye is in a bit of a different situation, right?
Yeah.
He lost everything, and he was at that point in Endgame, but now he's gotten everything back.
Yeah,
and
right.
He's like ready to retire and stuff. So I think he's gonna have kind of a different angle.
Yeah, I kind of want more fun.
Yeah, and obviously, like, Spider-Man's got his own shit going on that we've already kind of seen the after effects of Endgame, but they do kind of have to, like, I guess they don't have to, but I kind of appreciate that they're, you know, cueing us in on kind of what's going on in these people's heads after these, like, cataclysmic events that have been going on. Especially, like, for this character specifically, it was interesting because it's not our Loki. And to see him kind of, like, get to the point where our Loki was in a matter of, like, minutes.
Right, that's actually what I did really like this, but that is probably one of my complaints on it. It's like, we could have got, like, an original, like, a new, like, an older Loki version, but, like, he did just kind of become, like, the Loki we had that died in Endgame in, like, 30 minutes. Just from watching clips.
That's true.
Like, we had this build-up throughout the MCU of Loki, like, going through all these things that would change a person. And, I mean, I could be wrong. Loki could go back to being evil Loki, but it does seem like he went from literally enslaving people in Avengers and trying to take over the world to 30 minutes later being like, ah, shit, I'm not a bad person.
Yeah, no, I get that. I had a great thing lined up there that I was gonna say.
Go for it.
It kind of escaped my head a little bit there.
For sure.
But yeah, I think that him seeing what could have been and kind of what he was.
Yeah.
And now that he's not on a quote unquote designated path, like, maybe now he feels a little like he can carve his own path a little bit. So I don't know. I agree with you, and I'm excited to see what comes of it, because, like, I don't think we could trust him, right? I mean, like,
Right.
you can never trust Loki, so
That is true. I mean, I kind of hope they do go that way. I kind of, I kind of want him to be a villain, but like, I kind of want this version of him to be a villain, because it'd feel weird for him to go from being such an incredibly, like, strong villain, Avengers 1, to just having one episode and being like, no, we want Loki to be relatable to everyone, and look, he's an anti-hero now.
So it seems like they're gonna go hunt other Lokis.
Yeah.
Right? In, like, other universes. So, I mean, with that in mind, I could see this Loki being like, there can only be one!
Yeah, that is true.
And, you know, kind of doing that kind of thing, because, like, if they take the chains off, like, he's gonna find a way to do what he does, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't know. I'm interested to see what comes of the show. I think that they're doing some cool things, and even if the character in the story proves to disappoint me, I'm excited that, again, they're, like, kind of bridging the gap into new media with the introduction of the TVA and these, like, big superpowers that are going to be kind of involved through Phase 4.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna have the same complaint there. Is I just wish they would make a standalone series that, like, wasn't all about bridging. Like we talked about that earlier about Avatar. Like these shows I think would be so much better if they didn't worry so much about bridge. But like that's the purpose, is like bridging into the MCU. Right. But I just don't think you can get like a full compelling story if that's what you're always aiming to do. Because like if you don't have an end, I feel like, I don't know. You need to have a strong ending.
We've had the same conversation about, like, all of these Disney shows, right?
We definitely have, yeah.
You know, we want more, but, like, ultimately they are existing to, like, serve this purpose.
Yeah.
And I'm just excited that I get to see more of the characters that I like expanded on a little bit.
For sure. I can definitely see that standpoint. I can definitely see that standpoint.
I want more.
That viewpoint.
Like,
I guess this is a personal thing that frustrates me, is like the idea of things that are going on forever, because stories need to have an ending. And I mean, and when I say that, obviously you don't have to tie up everything, but like the reason like Queen's Gambit or Mr. Robot or True Detective Season 1 are so good is like they have a place they are going. If you think of the MCU, okay, if you think of True Detective Season 1, you start at train station A, and you know you're ending you're ending on train station B. So you have to make that satisfying. You have to have that go all the way to the end, and you need to nail it. But with the MCU and the MCU shows, it's always you're going from A to B to C to D to E to F to G to H, forever and ever and ever. So like you can have characters that have endings eventually, but it will never. I'll say this. This will be my definite statement, I guess, on all MCU shows. You will never have a MCU show like anything like True Detective Season 1 or anything of like actually like good TV, because they will always be doing that. They'll always just be a bridge instead of a complete building.
There is no like definitive ending.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
But I mean, I still really like it. I'm still
that.
gonna watch it all. I just you know how great it would be if it was like a single series of just Loki. I mean, even look at like the Daredevil. Daredevil was great because of that. Like it had an ending.
Yeah, that's true. No, I agree completely. It would be. I think that the quality of this show would be amplified if you knew. Well, not if I knew, because I wouldn't really want to know.
Yeah.
But if it did conclude the story of
Loki.
Yeah. And in a way, I guess it concludes the story of our Loki, but that's not what I'm talking about.
Right.
I think we're on the same page there.
Yeah, we're definitely,
That's just me, like, smacking back any flack people get. We did end Loki.
Yeah.
I know. I know that he's dead.
Is it really ending if you still have the same character playing by the same actor, and now that the first episode we got him back to, like, exactly where he was?
Exactly.
That's not the character. Yeah, he died on screen, but he is still here.
Right. He's basically the same.
He's doing the same thing.
you know, I agree though. Like a conclusive story will happen, but like this train station that you're talking about, it goes like A to Z and then repeats in A to
exactly.
Z. And I talked earlier about how Destiny 2 had like a 10-year plan.
Yeah.
I wonder what the MCU's timeline looked like. Was it like a 35, 40-year plan?
I don't.
Where does it end?
They probably have like they do phases, and that's the thing. Is like you don't have an ending. It's just like anything. So when you're creating art or anything, and this is going to be really pretentious of me, you want to, if you try to create something with no restraints, no ending, nothing, you just know I'm going to create something until I'm going to keep creating it until I die or something like that. You're never. It's going to become a mess eventually, or
Right.
you're going to look back and look at like phase 1 and be like, well, the stuff that happened in phase 1 literally doesn't matter anymore in phase 5 because this one thing in phase 4 just said none of that matters anymore because you always have to up the stakes.
Right. And that's exactly what just happened.
Exactly. We just found like, which I thought was really cool and really fun and stuff, but then I thought about it and it'd be like, wow, did the end game Infinity Saga just doesn't matter right now? Like,
right, at least not in this show. Like,
Yeah.
at least not to Loki. I mean, it does give you kind of like a grasp of the power of this corporation or whatever.
Yeah.
But also, like, maybe, I guess that's what they would want, right? They'd want me to be in the headspace of, you know, none of that shit matters to these people. But, like, damn.
damn indeed. And I mean, I guess this is the reason we're talking about this, like, you can't keep upping the power level of the MCU. Right? Like,
well, I don't know, because like
can.
it goes as far as the comics go, I guess, in theory.
And that gets into like Galactus and like Deadpool and like fourth wall breaking and like.
Yeah, and we know Deadpool is coming, and you know there are crazier things outside of even Galactus, right? I mean,
yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
That's what I was saying. Like, is there like a 35-year plan? How many phases are there? Like, is there gonna be like the James Cameron thing that's like spelled out? Have they just not given that information to IMDb? And you know, in actuality, it's like, you know, we have Tom Hiddleston on deck to play Loki in 2032.
And I mean, that's the thing. You can't plan that far ahead with filmmaking. Like, you can, but like, you can't.
What I was talking about with James Cameron, like, I didn't want to get too morbid, but it brings me back to The Dark Knight, because I feel like our boy Heath Ledger would have been in The Dark Knight Rises had all of that not happened. But you know, like, things happen, so like, how do you plan a fucking timeline like that? It's just bananas.
You can't. You can't pass like 5 or 10 years.
Right.
But like, if I could be wrong here, but I don't see the MCU stopping in my lifetime.
It doesn't
which is a
feel like
crazy statement to say.
Yeah, it feels like a train I'll never get off.
It really does. Because why would they? Literally, why?
At this point, they're continuing stories in video games.
Yeah.
We're about to learn what's going on with Jack fucking Sparrow, or what had happened with Jack Sparrow.
Right, exactly.
Like, that's what I was saying. Like, they're just gonna put their stuff elsewhere and continue their stories in other ways. So let's say that, like, Phase 5, definitive endings for all of our heroes, right? They defeat Galactus, they all fucking retire and live in Maui indefinitely, or whatever the hell hero retirement looks like. In a year, they're all gonna be back. In like Lego Marvel or something.
Oh my god.
You know, starring Mark Ruffalo as Lego Hulk. It's like, that's how I see it going.
Yeah, I don't know. But Loki's good. Can't wait to see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it.
Yeah. I have nothing else to say about it, I guess. Will it? I guess the last question is, will it come and go like the last two? Because I don't see really people talking about the last two, like WandaVision or the Falcon and the Winter Soldier anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably. Like I said, I believe that the whole point is to just like build hype and
Yeah.
bridge. So I mean, now there's no reason to talk about WandaVision because you only want to know about Doctor Strange
Exactly.
and Wanda and the Rambo. And then there's no reason to talk about Falcon and Winter Soldier anymore because you just want to know about Bucky and Cap and John and like now where they're going and what they're gonna do and all this stuff. So by the time this is over, I feel like I'm not gonna give a shit about the TVA or Owen Wilson. I'm just gonna want to know where Loki's at in the multiverse or something. You know, like he's probably just gonna disappear in the end of this.
I mean,
And
probably. Yeah.
I think he'll go out the same way he came in, just bloop.
Kind of hope.
I don't mind that. I mean, like, and then don't show me Tom Hiddleston's Loki for like a long time. And when he does show up, make him have an enormous fucking impact and have that be like the definitive end of his story.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I completely agree. All right, well, let's move on to the last part of our podcast, the middle point, where we discuss the movie of the week. This week we are discussing Robert Eggers.
I always say Eggers.
Yeah, I think I say Eggers too, but it's egg.
It has the word egg in it.
It has the word egg in it. God, which is really funny because in my like 2 tabs it's like Kevin Bacon and then Robert Eggers. We are talking about The Witch, the 2015 New England colonial horror film about witchcraft and black magic and possession. God, it still holds up. It's good.
It's so good.
Yeah, so for those who don't know it, without going through the entire story, The Witch is about a family kicked out of their community who has to go into the wilderness of New England during the 1600s. There, they struggle to survive as they have been outcast. But along with that, there's also a witch of the woods. Everyone is very religious in this. They all speak in an Old English accent. That's why I recommend using closed captions so you can actually
colonial English. It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. You don't know what the hell they're saying if you're not using closed captions, or unless you study that. And yeah, it is great. It is shot very beautifully. It is great acting. The climax is fantastic. Black Phillip, I stan Black Phillip. He is the best goat around.
So I actually jumped. I've seen this movie like 6 times probably.
Yeah.
And I just watched it again yesterday. I actually jumped when Black Phillip hits the blow against William.
Yeah. I mean, he's a big goat. He's terrifying.
Yeah.
He's a big goat. I didn't know goats got that big.
At one point in my life, we owned goats.
Dude, goats are cool.
One of them did that, rammed me in the legs, like in a corner, like a bunch of times. All pissed off.
That sounds painful.
Little Shane was like, "Ah, what the fuck?" And I had to like climb over a gate. I was like, "Stop it!" And it just beat the shit out of my legs. It was crazy. It just like got all mad. I don't know why. I don't know. It's just crazy.
Hell yeah. Wouldst thou like to live deliciously? But yeah, it's such a good film. It's only an hour and a half too, which I mean, respect. Out of all the movies that are so long, give me a short movie like that every once in a while.
Yeah.
But it's really good. It's like the start of Robert Eggers like trilogy he's doing of these like old time horror films. I mean, The Lighthouse is next to him after this, I believe. Which is so good. It's one of my favorite films of the last 5 years. And then next year we are getting The Northman, which also seems kind of like in the same lines of everything.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. That should be good.
Yeah, so let's talk about what makes The Witch the Witch. First of all, colonial English.
Oh, so can we actually just say period piece?
Yeah, it's a period piece, absolutely.
Because I don't want to be too specific, but I will say this is probably my all-time favorite period piece.
It is really good. I can't think of one that I would probably rank higher. Maybe The Lighthouse.
It just nails it, and Yeah, it's just so
Well, the
good.
coolest thing is like at the end of The Witch, it says like these like the stories were taken from journals from like that time
Hmm.
period and like written in that language the best they could. Um,
Hmm. And I think that you know, the other thing that makes this movie, you've already said it, is just the dedication and quality of acting.
yeah, we have
Shout out Harvey Scrimshaw.
yeah,
That Caleb man, when he's going through his shit in that house, that is
yeah,
some like actually terrifying shit.
absolutely. We also have Anya Taylor-Joy again, from Queen's Gambit and New Mutants, and
Yeah.
she's also blowing up, and also Last Night in Soho, which is coming out soon. Um,
And Ralph Ineson is a legend.
hmm um, Kate Dickie is great as Catherine. I think she is the most haunting member of the cast, the mother. The
Yeah,
children drive me
she's
insane, but they're good actors.
hmm
I hate the kids
she
so
is
much.
particularly like haunting is like a perfect word. I just think like the parts that shook me the most overall is definitely when Caleb comes back. That was really terrifying. And this watch through particularly was when Mercy walks up and says, "I am the Witch of the Woods." I was like, "Damn, that didn't even sound like a joke."
Yeah, right?
The first time I watched it, I was like, "Ha ha, 'tis but a jest." This
Tis but a
time, I was
jest.
like, I was
Tis
like,
but thou
she
shalt
just
not
rolled
jest.
up and foreshadowed, I think, and that was
Yeah.
one of the questions I wanted to ask you. Um,
Who do I think is the actual witch?
yeah, I mean
I think it's
that
the
was how I
children.
was gonna phrase it, but I didn't want to phrase it that way. You think it's
I
the?
I
Do you think it's one
honestly
of them in particular, or do you think it's both of them?
I think it's both of them. I think Thomason is actually like as innocent.
As she's portrayed.
Yeah, because like I mean obviously we get parts like where she doesn't seem that innocent, but like the kids are the ones hanging out with Black Phillip, who is Satan.
Uh huh.
There's also like you can see on the corn there is like this weird fungus growing and some shots that can also make you think it's hallucinogenic. It's a ergot, but I also don't want to go that way with it. I think this is a good supernatural film. I'm gonna play into that canon. Like it could be that canon, but I like that. I like that it's like hard to like figure out like who brought this like witchcraft, especially because we don't know why they were kicked out, or do we? I never picked up why they were kicked out.
Because he didn't agree with what
their religion.
saying.
Yeah.
They weren't on the same page, basically, is how
Yeah.
I can sum that up. Oh shit, no way. Ralph Ineson is in The Green Knight.
Yeah.
And The Northman.
Hell yeah.
And The Tragedy of Macbeth. Oh my gosh.
And The Ballad of Buster Scrooge he's good.
Scruggs.
Scrooge.
Anyway,
got Scrooge on my mind.
I think that if you like do a mini analysis of each character that lives in this house, there would be a different reason for
it's
this witchcraft.
It's like The Thing, but if The Thing didn't have Kurt Russell and was in 1630s New England.
Right. Like I think that William would probably think it's because of like some blasphemous things he's done, like his lying and things like that. And Mother obviously would probably think that it's because of Thomason. And Thomason thinks it's because of the twins, and the twins would probably think it's because of Thomason.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like everyone thinks it's something else the whole time, and I mean that's why I asked you the question, because I think it's painted so well in such a way that I am with you. I think that it's, well, more in particularly after this watch through, if it's not both the twins, I think it's Mercy, because there was just a scene in particular where she seemed, they were both weird. Like they both in sync were like looking at Black Phillip when they're in the shed, and they just looked right at her, right at Thomason, and they started talking. But like when the screaming started, Mercy seemed to stall a little bit, I guess. I don't know. It just seemed, she seemed a little sus this watch through. But I was gonna say, it's painted in such a way that I almost can't even trust myself when I say that I don't think it's Thomason. Like after watching it, I was like, this is just done so well that like all the way up until the end, you're like, maybe,
Yeah.
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe like she is super tricky because they open the film with her admitting a lot of things, like confessing to the audience and to
Yeah.
God that
Yeah.
she's a sinner and she's sinned in her mind and like all these things, and it had me thinking like off rip this watch through like maybe she is the witch.
Yeah. But I mean, at the same time, like everyone back in that day thought they were like the greatest sinner of all time.
And well, that's the thing too. Speaking of back in the day, this specific time, witch hunts were happening. So
Well,
like for
actually, so I'm reading the trivia right now, which you are right, but this was actually takes place 62 years before the infamous Salem witch trials.
before Salem,
Yeah.
so maybe not like the specific witch trials, but I imagine like
Oh yeah, witch hunting.
just the thought of witchcraft would strike up as kind of
Yeah, I'm pretty
happening.
sure the Malleus Maleficarum, which is the Hammer Against Witches, which is the book about killing witches, um, came out in the 1400s, the 1500s. Let me see.
Okay, so like I imagine like let's just
Yeah,
say
1487.
for instance, that Thomason did lose Samuel to a wolf, a really fucking lightning fast wolf.
Yeah.
I still am convinced that the story may have played out in a similar way.
Yeah.
With all of the accusations and like the witchcraft being brought up because of like just the way that things shook out. It doesn't seem like that far of a stretch that they would have kind of leaned on witchcraft or something like that as a scapegoat.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I scapegoat.
But I'm with you. I'm in the canon of the supernatural. I love just taking this movie as it is,
Yeah.
believing that Thomason is innocent and until proven otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, I yeah, agree. I just this is a film you have to watch. Like we can describe it as much as we can until like our lips go blue from talking too much. It's just you have to watch it. You have to come up with your own ideas of what went down, and it's hard because it's a simple tale. When we tell a story, it's simple. The family in 1630s New England is torn apart by the forces of witchcraft, black magic, and possession after they're kicked out into the woods. But it's really the acting and the small pieces and how the family reacts to each other and all the lies being told between the family and all the sins and all that stuff and all their like the whole Protestant. I don't know if they're Protestant at this point.
I'm not sure, but it's many pieces that build this beautiful picture of a movie.
It really is. Yeah, and I mean it's great. Watch it. You can watch it for like $1 on Amazon right now. I just realized like I noticed that like you can rent all the movies for like $1.
Where did you watch it?
Amazon.
Me too.
Yeah, it was like $1.
Yeah. Did you know that Guardians of the Galaxy came out before this, and he was also in that?
Who was also in that?
Ralph Ineson.
Oh, who was he in that?
He was but a pilot.
Oh, nice. Cool.
And then after that, he was a policeman in The Kingsman in the same year.
Nice.
And then right after that, he did The Witch.
Yeah, The Witch must be like what like blew him up.
I think so, cause
he's on a lot more things after that. Yeah. All right, so let's move on to the last part of our show where we take your guys' votes and we remake this film. So we are making a remake of this film in the styling of a crime cyberpunk. Which is the opposite of this film in all aspects.
Yeah.
But not really.
I think we just get our Cyberpunk 2099 on.
Yes.
Or, yeah, 2077.
All right, so easy. Directing this, Ridley Scott.
Easy.
Boom, we have our director, Ridley Scott.
So
Blade Runner is also a film about humanity and sin and life and really deep and stuff, and one of my favorite films. So boom, Blade Runner. You directed Blade Runner, the best cyberpunk film of all time.
See?
I mean, boom, directing it. What's the story?
I think instead of like a literal witch, it's like a uh like a businessy witch that is also into witchcraft, right? But like
Yeah,
I'm thinking cyberpunk and I'm thinking of like a druid that's chosen to get into
like
a,
a Ghost in the Machine type deal.
I don't know. I was
Like,
thinking just like shady dealings, but a druid who can also be like very witchy and do
yeah.
stuff.
Well, we could do kind of God, what is that book called? It's not necromancy. It's one second.
Necromancy?
Techno. Yeah, but it's
Necromancy.
God, what is this book? I've read this book before. Neuromancy, where you
Mm-hmm.
connect your brain to the computer. Maybe that's the witch. Is like the computers and the electronics are. Wait, okay, so we should figure out why they get kicked out first. It's a crime cyberpunk. This family was part of a crime family. They've been exiled out of the city. Maybe they have to move into an old factory in the barrens of the cyberpunk city, the metropolis, the mega city, because obviously there's going to be outskirts and there's going to be full factories and stuff. The family moves there. There's a bunch of electronics. Maybe the electronics keep coming alive and stuff, and their phones don't work and stuff, and the witch is really.
Yeah.
And maybe the computers are trying to get them to join the computer, like kind of how the witch is trying to get Thomason to join the coven. Like
Yeah.
the witch cyber winch is trying to get them to join
It's
the
like
machines.
telemarketers calling and being like
Yes.
asking for their personal information all the time, except
Yes.
it's not really telemarketers.
Exactly. And the best part too is like you could do like the whole like Black Phillip like sneaky thing is like no one could believe each other, like their electronics are talking to them at night, and you could actually make that really spooky.
Yeah, maybe like when they're the twins are like wearing their headphones, like jamming out to some smooth tunes.
Yeah.
There's actually getting like the sweet nothings of Satan whispered into their ears.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, I think we use the same cast.
So it's funny that you say that because I'm sitting here looking at it and I'm like, man, I really don't want to get rid of Anya Taylor-Joy.
Right, and then I don't want to get rid of Ralph either.
Yeah, they're all so great, and I
Same
honestly
cast.
like the story wouldn't have to change too much in terms
Right.
of like the order of events, like Caleb like going missing and then having something mysterious happen. Like maybe he answers the phone. He answers his phone, hello, and they're like, hey, we need to meet you here for something.
I mean, technology is just the new religion.
Right.
Boom! Replace the whole religious you could still have like Blade Runner even has like some religious undertones to it. Most cyberpunk has some weird like combination of technology and religion, which always pops up in sci-fi, which is like an aspect I really like. You can just replace the technology as your god, and maybe the technological god, Satan, devil.
Maybe like they don't even know that they're worshiping technology. Right, they just hold their phones all the time. They're always on their phones, blah blah blah. But like, it is so relevant to them that it is like a religion. Like, if they lose their phone, they're like, "Oh my god, like, where's my phone? Like, I need my phone so bad." Like makes them panic and stuff. Maybe that's why Caleb goes missing. Maybe he loses his phone.
Yeah,
so he just
absolutely.
wanders out of the house, and then someone tells him like, "I got a phone for you, kid."
Yeah,
and then he comes home, and he's like. And he vomits out a phone.
Yes, he vomits out circuitry or something like that. Black Phillip could just be like a robot.
Oh yeah.
Like a droid.
One of those robot dogs.
Yeah. Robot goat.
Pet me.
Black Phillip. I
don't know.
It's
just a Roomba.
Yes, it's a Roomba.
just dancing around it. Black Phillip. It's vacuuming casually.
Oh my god. I just love the idea of a coven of neuro witches.
Yeah,
that's such a cool.
Neuro witch sounds way cool.
Neuro witch sounds so cool.
Shit.
I love when cyberpunk mixes with fantasy, which a lot of like cyberpunk does that. It has like really fantastical ideas behind it, and just like technology instead of magic.
Yeah, solid choice for a little remake.
Good votes.
Especially
good votes,
for us. I like being in the cyberpunk state of mind.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we nailed it. I don't think there's anything else to add to like remaking that film. Like same cast. Ridley Scott's directing.
That I wouldn't change the cast.
Yeah. The story pretty much the same. Replace
Yeah.
the woods of New England with the factory districts of
Chicago.
New Boston.
New Boston, yes.
And the thing is, you replace the old colonial English with future English, because that's going to sound differently than what we sound like right now.
So you'll still need subtitles.
Yeah, you'll still need subtitles, obviously. Black Phillip is just B.L.A. Everything's an acronym. Yeah, anagram. And boom, we have it. That film actually sounds sweet. Horror cyberpunk. We need more cyberpunk horror. We just need more cyberpunk horror, because you can do some stuff with like body horror with it, and like, yeah, cyberpunk horror. Do more of it. What is Upgrade? Oh, I guess Possessor came out recently. That was supposed to be really good on Hulu.
Is this a cool way to have Black Phillip? Hi, bring this, Shane.
Hi. That's you.
Here we go. There we go. It's Black Phillip. What a ridiculous thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess I should announce what we're watching for next week. Before we wrap this up. I haven't even done that. That is a good way of spelling Black Phillip. 8L4CKPH111P. Absolutely. So next week we are staying with the Gothic monsters. But I was thinking about doing a third witch, because covens usually go with 3, but we're not doing that.
Tricky.
We're going to vampires. Because I'm about to have a busy week, and we're going to watch a comedy this week, and we're probably going to watch my favorite comedy of all time. We're going to watch What We Do in the Shadows.
Awesome. I've never seen it. I'm so glad.
I'm so excited. So we're going to watch Taika Waititi's and Jermaine Clemens of Flight of the Conchords' debut film that really put Taika in the spotlight, and one of my favorite it is my favorite comedy of at least the last 20 years, probably of all time. What We Do in the Shadows, the mockumentary about vampires in New Zealand. And it is so good. The television show is equally as good too. So if you end up watching this movie for next week, anyone, Shane, do you too, watch the television show on Hulu after. It is so good.
Check it out. Where can I watch the movie?
You might have to rent it on Amazon.
That's fine. I just needed to know.
Yeah, actually, let's see.
Okay, you're gonna Google search? Forget it.
I'm gonna see if it's on Hulu. I know it would be weird if the television show. Okay, only the television show's on Hulu. So yeah, you're gonna have to rent it, everyone. But it's like $1 right now. I don't know why Amazon's doing $1 rentals, but I'm not gonna complain. But yeah, that's it. So next week, this week was The Witch. Next week, What We Do in the Shadows. This is the spooky month of June still, somehow. We keep doing spooky movies.
We got Fear Street coming in July, too.
Yeah, spooky summer.
Yeah, spooky, scary summertime.
Send shivers down my spine. Bump, bump. All right, well, that was the podcast, everyone. Let's do some plugs and get out of here. Usually after these podcasts, we play some games with you wonderful viewers. Shane, I don't know if you're going to do that, but I have to head out. We're not doing it. Okay, no. Well, I'm heading out after this. So this week we're not, but next week we will be playing video games with our viewers after. Usually we play Valorant or something like that. But yeah, Shane, hit me with your plugs.
You can catch me live at twitch.tv/bringtheshane. I do dummies, slay/play on Mondays, and ruining movies on Tuesdays, and Shanecraft on Fridays, which is just fantastic. Come hang out, have fun.
Yeah.
Cool stuff.
Nice. You can find me at twitch.tv/farmgoat. Same dummies play on Monday, Tuesdays, this podcast. Normally I do other stuff throughout the week, but this month is kind of crazy for me, so those are the only 2 days I'm streaming. But go check out my YouTube channel, FarmGoat Plays. Go check out the Ruining Movies YouTube if you want to catch up on old episodes. You can also find us all on Spotify, and our TikTok is also Ruining Movies. So go check out all that stuff. And yeah, we'll see you next week as we talk about the vampire mockumentary, What We Do in the Shadows. I'm really excited for you guys to all watch it. I hope you enjoy it because it is so good. Bye, everyone. Be excellent to each other.
Bye.
Peace.